Couldn't hang with my freestyle. 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 He couldn't hang with my freestyle.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Crazy House, and I want to welcome you all to another fan art freestyle. And today we are continuing our Sinister Six fan art, and I will be drawing Electro today. So, as far as my experience goes with this character, he was the first member of the Sinister Six I was introduced to back in the early 90s when I was collecting Spider-Man comic books. And, you know, I always liked his design. I always thought the character of Electro had a very original design, going all the way back to the first Spider-Man comics that Steve Ditko created. And his design was, you know, it's, how can I say this? It could come off almost as ridiculous. I mean, it is ridiculous, and I think if you saw someone walking around like that, it would come off that way. But it still looks cool. Like, it runs that very fine line of cartoony and hokey, but it fits the character so very well. Like, the fact that he literally wears this mask with these lightning bolts coming off of it, that could seem silly, but I don't know, it fits the character so well. And if you don't know the origins of this character, his real name is Maxwell Dillon. He was working on some electrical power lines and was struck by lightning, and that's how he got his power set. And what I always kind of liked about him is that he's not necessarily a scientist. He was still more of a blue-collar worker type. And the dichotomy of him and Spider-Man is that when he was given his powers, he decided to use it to rob banks and stuff. He decided to use it to gain more power for himself, unlike Spider-Man, who unselfishly uses his powers more to help people. So a lot of those villains sort of take that sort of different direction that Spider-Man did. They also have these very terrible accidents, but they decide to use their powers for evil, while Peter Parker uses his powers to be more helpful and altruistic and good with them. So in that way, I liked Electro, but I like the fact that he was more of a blue-collar guy, not necessarily a scientist, but he had enough know-how and skill to understand his powers and how to gain more electricity. Like, sometimes he has to absorb a lot of different electricity, or maybe he'll read about, like, maybe there's like some sort of superconductor being developed, and he'll go there to drain that energy to get more electrical powers for himself. So in that way, I always liked the character. Plus, he's very conniving. So he's not someone who's very trustworthy at all. He goes with whoever he thinks is going to win, or whatever situation can be an advantage to him. So in that way, his character can be very sneaky. So I've always liked the character. I love the design, and he's not exactly the easiest character to draw. Like, I wouldn't imagine, like, it seems like a lot of work all the time to draw all those lightning bolts, but we're going to do the best we can in this fan art version of Electro. So as always, I will draw him out in pencil, then I will ink him over, and then I'll take him into Adobe Animate and make a vectorized version for him. Obviously, I'm thinking of having some electricity and energy coming off of him, maybe towards the background, so that way we can add some extra dimension and some extra energy to this piece. So that's what we will do in this fan art freestyle. I hope you stick with me. Make sure you go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel, so that way you're here when I drop any other art videos or fan art freestyles. And we're going to get started, and at the end I'll give my critique of my Electro artwork. Anyway, let's go. Alright folks, so here we are at the final version of my rendition of the character of Electro, and in this one I decided to, like I said, it's my own version, but it still kind of looks like the character is supposed to look. I think Electro works very well when you make his facial features very thin, so give him kind of more of a thinner nose and like a sharper chin. So it's not, his face is not bulky at all. He kind of works better, I think, when he looks like a little bit of a skinnier character. I think that makes it works better with his build. His mask is always drawn differently. Like, I noticed it depends on the artist, and I've seen so many different renditions, whether it be Eric Larson or Mark Bagley or even Alex Ross drawing pictures of Electro. His mask is always different. It either has like 5 prongs that, like, his face almost looks like a star more than electricity, or it looks like 7 electrical prongs coming out and they're at different lengths. So it really just depends on how you want to mold this mask to his face. So it's up to the artist's interpretation of how this mask is going to be drawn. But for the most part, it's still basically the same, and his outfit is basically the same as well. So I kept it very simple with this bust and made sure his electricity was coming off in the right way, and I think it looks good, and it really works well with the contours of his face. So I think my version of Electro was good. I added some electricity coming off the back of him, and I added, just kind of made the energy power that's coming off of him. I messed around with the outside lines and kind of diffused it to make it look more powerful, and even added some of that glow coming off of Electro himself. So I think it looks really good in the way that he's finished off here. So we are finished with this character Electro. So let's go ahead and add him to the main Sinister Six compilation piece. Let's go over here and we'll add him over right in the corner here. Bam! There we go. Now we got Electro mixed in there with the rest of the Sinister Six, and we'll definitely be doing some more. So make sure you stick around with me here on the Chris Crazy House YouTube channel as we create some more fan art of the Sinister Six. Once again, if you haven't liked this video, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and zap it with your own electricity, and make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that you're here when I upload more content like this. Anyway folks, this is Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.